And I'm going to turn it over here to Devin, who's going to talk about leadership, administration, and management. It's only 5%, so he's going to go through this quickly. And then the last part is ethics before we wrap up. So we're going to get you out of here at 5:15 like we were scheduled, maybe a couple minutes early. We'll see how long Devin goes.
We might have questions.
Or we might have questions. You're right, yeah. No pressure.
All right, so leadership, administration, and management. This is just going to be a lot of, I guess, take notes for things to research. It gets to the fact that you can't be planning in a bubble. You got to, you need to involve your staff, figure out where you are in your agency, knowing your role, how to be an effective leader, manager, how to deal with other agencies. The APA's recommended resources, a few PAS reports, local planning agency management, e-government, working with planning consultants. So that's the list. 582, this is planners provide data and recommendations to assist decision makers, elected and appointed officials. I've heard it said we do all this work, and at the end of the day, it's a doctor and a dentist really making the decision on. But our role is to provide the data and recommendations and to assist the decision makers of our community. That's elected and appointed officials. So planners are charged with managing change, which requires great sensitivity to the communities that we serve, the political context, and the need to accomplish things at the end of the day. So this is PS Report 582. So local planning agency management and what the role is of the local planning agency. So managing external relationships. A great customer experience is primarily about delivering the right knowledge at the to the right place at the right time. More from that PAS 582 talks about a clear mission and optimized department organizational structure and how it can enhance the department's ability to provide customer service. It's a big emphasis on customer service here. Client interaction. Planners should always remember whom the client is and to know how to make sure we work with them effectively. The client may change throughout a process. It might start out as a builder or a home builder or residents, and know who and when is the client throughout a planning process. Maintain professionalism, maintaining clear and open communication. We highlight here, according to a report by Oracle, not the Oracle, or an Oracle, but Oracle. The best practices to improve customer service. This came out of some of the recommended readings as we went through and updated this. So these are the 8 sort of ways to improve customer service, gleaned from the recommended readings from the APA. Managing external relationships. How do we represent and promote our organization? How do we represent ourselves as an extension of that agency? And how to show professionalism. Planners should always remember, or also remember, that when we help shape public opinion about what planning is, I know I do. I always take if I'm driving with my kids or my wife, I'll always sort of point out some nuanced part of our profession. But know that we help shape the public opinion. And I know all my neighbors are constantly asking me different things. Do you know what's going here? I saw they were grading the site. Relationships with partner and sister organizations, decision makers is important. Creating and maintaining that strong relationship. And very quickly you'll learn that you cannot do it alone. Again, that's sort of going to be the key to this. Working with teams, working with a department, not sort of being the sole person in this. So if you think of a scenario question, if you're going to sort of broaden the group of people that are evaluating or developing a plan, it's always sort of seen as a good thing. Transparency, underline that word. Our communities are becoming more transparent. There's an expectation that the planning is open and transparent to the extent it can be. I know things like condemnation are always held in executive session, but the planning process, open and transparent. Many municipalities post information on our websites to support transparencies. I think just about every planning study out now has some type of project website solely for this fact, to give to make sure that everyone knows it's an open and transparent process. There's something called FOIA, or Freedom of Information Act. It's a law that gives you the right to access information from the government. If you don't work in the public sector, or you don't not heard of this, you might want to research it. It's described as a law that keeps citizens in the know about their government. More from that PAS report 582, so you might want to read that one. It's important for planners, especially planning managers, to support team building and staff training opportunities. This conference is a great example. I know a lot of planning directors that have brought their staff here, which is great. The planning office culture. Trevor, you want to talk about this one?
Sure. One of the things that the APA is trying to stress as well is not just knowing who your external client is, but knowing how you work as a team in your own environment. I think the big focus is on how you work with your employees, the people that report to you, to make sure that it's a positive work environment and that it really makes an impact on the success of your community or even of the agency that you work in. And so just be familiar with how the office culture can really impact employee morale and motivation.
And here's a create an office culture that rocks.
Yeah.
5 steps. Strategic planning. What is strategic planning different from the other types of planning? This is an organizational management activity used to set priorities, focus energy, resources, strengthen operations, and ensure employees and other stakeholders are working towards common goals. Shorter term, more strategic, focused on results. Forbes top 5 steps for a strategic plan. Again, from one of the recommended readings: determine where you are, identify what's important, define what you must achieve, determine who's accountable, and then review. I touched a little bit about the budgeting. These are just some more terms to be familiarize yourself with. Understanding revenue, sources of income, things like reserve funds, bonds, general obligation funds, authorities, special taxing districts, special assessments, state and federal grants, tax increment financing. Again, if your state doesn't have TIF, this exam isn't going to care. TIF is a tool that's used by planners. Know what it is, how it's used, estimate spending needs, the types of budgeting, the PPBS, or the Planning, Programming, and Budgeting System. Got to be another equator, something that's sort of consistently in all the study materials. Something called management by objectives, a zero-based budget. What is a budget that starts from zero at the beginning of each year? Is a question. Yeah. PERT is a program evaluation and review technique. It's actually a chart, and there's you see all these. It's like a flow chart. And there's something related to that called a critical path. It's the shortest way through a PERT chart, and then a Gantt chart, just a schedule, a way to keep track of tasks. Trevor touched a little on this with autonomous vehicles, but smart cities and technology. Smart cities is an urban development vision to integrate multiple information communication technology and the Internet of Things solutions in a secure fashion to manage a city's assets. My city just put out a smart city RFI. I know a lot of cities are moving towards this, but the goal of building a smart city is to improve the quality of life by using really data and technology to deliver efficient services to meet the resident needs. Some of it is kind of Big Brother, but I think with the way that I know that these cities are trying to use everything, it's really just about efficiency and figuring out how we can integrate traffic lights and just move people and things safely and efficiently through a city. APA has an article on smart cities and sustainability and the use of smart cities data. Familiarize yourself with that article. Some of just the terms related to all of this, big data, we hear a lot of open data. I mentioned APIs earlier. An API is just really a portal interface to get at data. Broadband, fiber, Wi-Fi, small cell. We have our new fourth generation or fifth generation 5G wireless. Technology and public outreach, autonomous vehicles, streetlight management, all things related to using technology to advance planning. parking lot management, things like Spot Hero and on-demand counts for parking meters or parking lots. And then our integrated multimodal transportation, bike shares, scooters, all the different things that technology is advancing and how we change. And we highlight this sort of connected home of the future, the lighting, the solar panel, smart meters,